Stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends 85th anniversary Superior Spider-Man. Ciao and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are taking an exclusive first look at this brand new Marvel Legends 85th anniversary Superior Spider-Man. Now this past May, Hasbro UK teamed up with Inderman Toys to show off some new Marvel Legends at their booth at MCM Comic Con in London. Of course I was in attendance. I couldn't leave empty-handed. So thank you very much for letting me get away with this one for an early look on the channel. As I, like many, am very excited to add this upgraded version of Superior Spider-Man to their collection. But it's not the first time we have gotten Superior Spider-Man in the Marvel Legends line. Think back a decade ago, 2014 Ultimate Green Goblin Build-A-Figure wave was the first time we had gotten Superior Spider-Man, who was a relatively new character in the comics back then. So they did well to get him out, but this is undoubtedly the upgrade we deserve. It is completely pinless. It's got its 4 legs, interchangeable hands, heads. Honestly, this is a much better, accurate representation of Superior Spider-Man. This is obviously where Doc Ock's consciousness is in Peter Parker's body and he decides to be a good guy for a little bit. So honestly, looking forward to this one. I really like this 85th year anniversary packaging as well. It's just clean, slick. I'm excited for the whole line. Honestly, all 10 items look fire. So there he is in the packaging. We get a picture of Spider-Man on the side. On the back of the box, no write-up, wave association or anything like that, because you know who it is. It's Superior Spider-Man. That's blurred out for Hasbro. And then, yeah, there we go. He's looking good. Let's get him open. Here we have Spidey out of the packaging with all of his accessories and pieces on the table, and it is a nice healthy amount as well. I definitely feel we have everything we need here to represent the character as it should on the display. So we're going to look at all of this individually, of course we will, but I just wanted to take a look at Spidey on his own. First and foremost, let me bring in the tape measure so you can see he is about just under 6.5 inches tall, so standard Marvel Legends size, and just proportionately he looks really nice, completely pinless as well, and a solid representation of a character. Let me start off this review by bringing in that figure from a decade ago. Look how much of an upgrade that is in Marvel Legends. This doesn't even proportionally look like a human. It looks like some sort of spider ape compared to this. I always sort of judge a figure how it can stand neutral, and this just looks good. Look, Legends have definitely raised the bar. Let me throw them on the rotating base so you can see for yourself. The new one is a massive upgrade. That is the new gold standard for Marvel Legends, absolutely. It is of course the same character designs, the same character elements, but a much better version now with good accurate gauntlets, and we've also got that new digital tech in the eyes to be like reflections of buildings. Let's check that out. Now the digital face printing technology definitely allows them to try something a little bit different here, which I'm not mad at. I don't mind them trying something new. So what we've got here is basically building reflections within the Spider-Man eye lenses. Now my lights are a little bright, so hopefully you can see that. So it looks like a digital print, but you can definitely see the blues, the grays, the blacks, and what that meant to be is a building reflection in the Spider-Man lenses as he is swinging through the city. Now up close it may look a little blurry, but I promise you as you pull him back, it definitely looks like a long tall building within the reflections of the eye. So yeah, I like it. It's a little bit different. The mask itself, those black lines are meant to be sloppy. Remember, that is an accurate sort of portrayal of the costume. The web lines are a little bit broken, missing in parts, so it looks really good. Again, you've got the black sort of outline of the eyes. But yeah, I like them trying something new. But don't worry, if you don't like it, they've give you the option. You can have the regular lenses that are just fully white, no building reflections or trying anything new here. This is just regular old Spider-Man with those white sort of pearlescent lenses. And again, it looks good. Both options are good. They really are. Again, you've got the sloppy red lines on the mask, which are really nice. Again, it's intentionally sloppy, and yeah, there you go. You have your options now. So you can just have a regular white lens for this suit. And again, it looks good. It looks good. It really does. It's going to be hard to choose actually for the display. So I'll throw up a side by side so you can make your own mind up. Will you be going for the traditional classic white lenses, or are you going to try something a little bit different here for the display and have that building reflection on the eyes? You'll also notice that the white eyes are a little bit wider. That's why they seem really bright and white, but they are like a different expression for the eyes, a little bit wider. So yeah, a little different with the sculpt of the eyes there. Continuing to look at Spider-Man here, you have that black silhouette over the regular red pattern with those sloppy and messy web lines throughout the whole body. Again, the lines are really clean even though they're really fine. And again, on the back, you've got that pattern continuing all the way through with those spider legs going over the sort of shoulders. Just looks really nice. On the arms themselves are all black, but then you've got the gauntlets, which are now a new piece that we never got in the previous version, but are absolutely accurate to the character. They're done in like a gunmetal grey, a little bit of red, some nice sculpt work. Moving down to the legs, all black, all the way down just to the red trim down there on the feet. But all the detail is up here on the figure. So just looking at the articulation of this guy, it is what you would expect. So it's a little bit of old, a little bit of new, and I say old, but it's still like new Marvel Legends. So I don't mean that in a negative way, but it's what we've seen before. So from the waist down is basically the Renew Your Vows body, and then you've got the pinless double jointed knees, elbows, etc. So you do have the drop down hips that will drop down, and legs will go up. You've got the double jointed knees, you've got the boot swivel, you've got the ankle pivot rocker, toe articulation, which I know some people absolutely love, and you've got the thigh cut as well, and the legs will go about out that far as well. So yeah, that is the drop down hips. Hopefully you can see that. They will drop down and pop back in, no problem. You'll see the swivel as well at the waist, and then the ab crunch is really good. Like, look at this for backwards, basically a 90-degree backwards ab crunch, so people can't be mad at that. And then forward as well, it's not bad at all, so that's really good. So yeah, swivel at the waist with that ab crunch, with the drop down hips. Yeah, this guy's going to be able to look and articulate really well, no problem with that at all. And then to the upper torso, you've got the deep butterfly joints, of course, so the shoulders will go up, and then you've got that deep butterfly joint forward and back, bicep swivel, and then double jointed elbow. Really nicely done. All the hinges are in the wrists as well, as you would expect, and the head itself is on a disc and hinge, so you can actually get the head looking straight up like a flying pose or a web swinging pose, if you will. And of course you can bury the chin as well. You get your swivel, just not so much, not a lot of tilt on the disc and hinge, but still decent articulation here on this guy. I do think people are going to be very happy, and then when you combine that with the legs, you're going to be able to get him into some epic poses, I have no doubt. So on the back, you would have noticed there are 3 holes in that sort of triangle pattern, and that is so you can plug in his 2 web packs, and that's right, you get 2. So the first one, you will notice, is a little bit thinner, and you can't get it in the wrong way round, as the pattern is literally a triangle. So it plugs in like so with the spider gap at the top, and there you go. Now you have your sort of retracted spider legs backpack, which again is an accurate element to the costume design. There are times in the comics where he hasn't got his legs out, he is retracted them in this backpack, and that is exactly what we see here. So that is a retracted, thinner version of the backpack. It is done in like a metallic red, so it's a little bit more glossy and shiny compared to the red that's actually on the figure, but it still works nicely, not a problem. So that will just pop out, no problem. And then we can plug in the slightly thicker version of the backpack, and you'll notice the thicker version has 4 holes, 2 on either side, and that is so we can plug in his mechanical legs. So again, there's the 2 backpacks. You'll notice one is thinner and one is thicker. So one is retracted, no legs, and the other one is so we can plug in the legs. So let's get to the main event and plug in the legs. So all 4 legs are completely identical. They all have the same points of articulation, all molded from the same plastic. They are the same color, which is that slightly metallic red, which match obviously the backpacks that we get with him. So they are very nice, and they're a decent size as well. If I get the tape measure, you can see probably about 7.5 inches in length, which is not bad at all. So that is a decent size, and there are 4 points of articulation on each leg. You'll notice here, or if I get the middle one, maybe that will show you better. There's a hinge there, there's a hinge there, hinge there, and hinge there. So there are actually a point of articulation at every single sort of segment of the legs, if you will. So you can literally, I don't want to break them here, but you can bend, you can bend, and then again, bend. So you can create like that pattern with the legs, and there is a little bit of swivel at the end as well. So you can swivel the legs too. So yeah, there is some decent articulation in all four of the legs. And considering all the peg holes are the same, all the legs are the same, it genuinely doesn't matter which side you plug them in. They all just plug in. I do advise heating it up a little bit first, but they will fit in there nicely. The peg length is pretty decent, so it's going to grip in there no problem at all. And then we have 4 legs in his backpack. And of course, when it comes to posing action figures, it's always a balancing act. But I did want to show you, he will stand and hold the weight of all 4 of those legs on his backpack. As you can see, he is standing with all 4 legs plugged in, no problem at all. Again, when you start posing him a little bit more dramatic immediately, you may need to get a flight stand out, but he will hold the weight of all 4 legs on a display. And remember, at every segment, there is a point of articulation. There is a hinge and also a swivel. So if you start counting it up, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's like 16 points of articulation just on the legs alone. So you are going to be able to get this guy posed up. Very fun, I have no doubts. But before I try my own little posing party, let's quickly just go through his last couple of accessories, which are, of course, interchangeable sets of hands. We have got 3 complete sets of hands. Out of the box, he comes with a set of fisted hands, and all of them do have a little bit of red on there as well with the side-to-side hinges. So, fisted hands. Trademark Spider-Man swipping hands, of course. And finally, you get a set of open palm, more expressive clawed hands with the red palm, which are definitely hands and expressions you see him use in the comics. So I sort of think they replaced the wall crawling hands as a regular Spider-Man. They are a little bit more clawed, a little bit more jagged, a little bit more aggressive. And again, it's a bit of a balancing game, but you can actually get him to stand on all 4 of the legs. I didn't think you'd be able to, as they're a little bit thin on the tips, but if you balance it just right, you can get it to work. But again, I don't think that's a trademark of Superior Spider-Man or anything like that. But as you can see, as I was spinning around here, he is balancing on the legs okay. So it probably wouldn't last for a long pose, but for a couple of pictures, absolutely. Swinging into comparisons, if you ever wanted to know what it would be like to cross Peter Parker with Otto Octavius, then look no further than a Superior Spider-Man comic, because that's exactly what it is. It is a crossover between Spider-Man and Doc Ock, with Otto's consciousness in Peter Parker's body. That is why you have a Spider-Man sort of Doc Ock hybrid with the 4 legs and a sort of darker in tone Spider-Man costume. I really like the concept, to be fair, and it has been around for a little bit now in the comics. I think it's actually making a comeback right now. So it's a great time to get yourself a Superior Spider-Man. And as you can see, he's using the same legs as the Renew Your Vow Spider-Man. It's just the upper part of the body which is new, because the torso has the holes in the back for the legs, and of course the gauntlets have been added to the forearm. So yeah, top part new, bottom part is reused from a new Marvel Legends body, so it's a great build. And here we have another Doc Ock. It is of course the VHS version with the bendy wire tentacles and the Scarlet Spider-Man from the recent retro wave. Here we have another Spider-Man with legs comparison, as we have the Iron Spider. Now remember, he had 3 legs, and Superior Spider-Man does have 4 to make him Doc Ock style with the other 4 limbs. So yeah, at first I thought we may get reuse from the legs on this, but these legs are brand new. There is no reuse from the Iron Spider-Man. Superior Spider-Man is new in regards to these metal legs. No reuse at all on here. Remember, you've got 3 versus 4, and yeah, the mechanics are different, the articulation is different, the sculpting is different. So absolutely no reuse across these 2 Spider-Man bodies, but obviously similar concept. Here we have a couple of other Spider-Man bodies, as we have the 60th anniversary, which some people genuinely think is the best Spider-Man. Again, each to their own. And then we have the Parker Industries version over here. This is the one that came in the 2-pack with Mary Jane. I think this is what happens in the comics after Superior Spider-Man, if I'm not mistaken. But you can see they are 3 different Marvel Legends Spider-Man base bodies, with the Superior Spider-Man being a little bit taller than your 60th anniversary body, because remember, it's using the taller legs. So yeah, there are differences across all of these Spider-Man bodies. We've got plenty to choose from now. This is on the Pizza Spider-Man mold, which is obviously pinned and outdated now, but it did hold its own for a while. But yeah, we've got better ones. Some more Spider-Man for comparison. We have got one of my favorites, the Spider Armor Mark 1, and then we have Kane in the red and black. And then a quick look at all of the Spider-Men on the table together. And I wanted to try a couple of the unmasked Peter Parker heads on this body as well. So here we have the retro sort of glasses version of Peter Parker. Just because Doc Ock is always wearing glasses, I thought it would match a little bit. So it sits a little bit high on the neck peg, but as you can see, it does fit on the body. And obviously the regular Peter Parker head sculpt fits on here and works on this body no problem. I think this works a little bit better proportionately as well. Because remember, it's only Doc Ock's consciousness in Peter Parker's body, so he still looks like Peter. Let's bring in a couple of villains and different scales. So we have Rhino and Kraven. More villains with Hobgoblin and Venom, of course. Remember, we are getting that same Venom with a few little upgrades in this very same 85th anniversary lineup on a retro card. Here we have the Extremis Armor Iron Man and the Ultimate Captain America. Here we have the recent Deadpool from the 2-pack with Agent Bob, and of course the best Black Widow. And as always, let's finish up with some of the Who crew. We have Frogman, Tigra, and Jocasta's head. Remember, Jocasta got her head bitten off by Zabu during that review, and she hasn't quite recovered. And the bad news continues as Hellfire Hank genuinely lost his saxophone at MCM. I took him with me, we walked around the convention floor, and we lost his saxophone. He's not a happy Hank. But unfortunately, let's end as always with Captain Britain and very sad Hank. Final thoughts on this Marvel Legends 85th anniversary Superior Spider-Man. Honestly, the bar has been set and raised by this in regards to the rest of the 85th anniversary lineup. Honestly, I'm excited for the whole lineup if it is this good. This is top tier Marvel Legends, undoubtedly. When you compare it to that version of Superior Spider-Man we got 10 years ago, it really does show you how far Marvel Legends have come, utilizing the technology that they have now with the digital face printing tech, the pinless joints, the articulation. Honestly, this is a beautifully accurate representation of the character, proportionately, aesthetically, and at the end of the day, isn't that what we collect, to have accurate representations in plastic on our shelf? And that is what we get here with Superior Spider-Man. I'm honestly excited for the rest of this lineup now, if they are going to raise the bar this good. So good, honestly. Really solid Marvel Legend. I'm sure you would agree when you get it in hand. I really don't have much to nitpick here. You let me know what you think in the comments below, as always. And if you like Marvel Legends, then wow, you are in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlists, but most importantly, please hit that subscribe button, hit all on the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Honestly, hit that join button, become a channel member, and you get to be a guest on the channel. Go and check out all the live streams. It's a good time. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. I'm on Twitter at Dan Who Reviews, and I promise the Who crew will be back with a vengeance, as they're not really in a good spot right now. But don't you worry, they'll be back, and I will be back on the next one.